We're here at the Southampton Engineering Training Association to meet Sorsha and Eyram.
Both Sorsha and Eyram were successful in attaining a 4-year mechanical engineering apprenticeship with Formula One via the Blair Project. And now they're currently doing their studies at CETA.
And this was all part of Formula One's We Race as One initiative, which was mainly focused on getting more individuals from diverse backgrounds to work in the sport. As part of their offering, they gave us, the Blair Project, 2 mechanical engineering apprenticeships, and we put it out to our network and had over 150 applicants, to which it's all whittled down to just 4 applicants. And for Sorsha and Eyram were 2 of those applicants and were successful in attaining this opportunity. So now, 8 months later, we're here to meet them to see how they're getting on with their journey. Take us back to that moment when you found out and you got that email from our team to say you had made it into the final 4. How did that feel?
It felt great. I think, to be honest, everyone around me was more excited than I was.
I've been a very big fan of Formula One, and it came at a really good time for me. I was sort of, wondering what I wanted to do with my career. I don't think it's until I got here that I realised how amazing this was, and I couldn't believe it.
Why not get paid to learn? Isn't that the beauty? Rather than, going to university and incurring lots of debt. Yeah, the apprenticeship route is a phenomenal route to go down. Hello everybody and welcome to a very special edition of Diversity in Motorsport. My name is Nile Henry.
And my name's Blair Henry.
And we're both from the Blair Project. And on today's episode, we're joined by 2 very special guests from the world of Formula One and very much ambassadors to the Blair Project, Sorsha and Eyram, who are both doing a mechanical engineering apprenticeship at Formula One. Sorsha, Eyram, welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do and where you're from?
Yeah, so I'm Sorsha, I'm 25, I'm from Birmingham, and I'm here in Southampton at CETA doing a Formula One mechanical engineering apprenticeship.
I'm Eyram, I'm 19 years old, originally from Ghana, but I've been living in Leicester for the last 6 years. And I'm doing a Formula One apprenticeship at CETA.
What were you both doing before your apprenticeship?
I was actually in and out of pub work for around about 7 years, and I was also cabin crew for 3 years, and that's actually what started my interest in engineering.
Before I started this apprenticeship, I was in first year college at Leicester College doing a manufacturing engineering course at level 3.
How much experience did you have before you started the apprenticeship?
I had not 1 ounce of experience, which I did think might be a hindrance, but it turns out you don't really necessarily need it.
I didn't actually have any engineering experience, although I was doing some work experience in a garage servicing cars and helping my neighbour out with his cars on his drive too.
So you both didn't have, you had a little bit of experience at college, Eyram, but you had 0 experience at Sorsha. So what made you both want to apply for the role at Formula One, and how did you hear about it?
So I've been a very big fan of Formula One, and it came at a really good time for me. I was sort of, wondering what I wanted to do with my career. And I actually heard from it in a WhatsApp group chat. So my aunt sent that through in our family group chat, and it was literally like a light bulb went off. I thought, got to apply. Didn't really think anything of it. But it was like the perfect opportunity at that time and that moment. And here we are.
Yeah, now you made it here.
Here we are, yeah.
And was it a similar story yourself, Eyram, or?
Yeah, it's a similar story. My aunt actually stumbled across the message in one of the group chats and passed it on to my parents and then myself. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity because I've always had an interest in engineering. I was always looking into the technical side of Formula One. And from a young age, I had a very big interest in cars. It was a perfect opportunity for me.
And what were your feelings like being the final four and going to that induction day with Formula One? What was that feeling like?
That was crazy. That was like crazy, yeah. I think, especially because I was like the only girl as well, that was, really good feeling, very proud of myself that I got to that point. And it was nerve-wracking, but in like a good way. It's like the best is yet to come sort of thing. So,
yeah, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. It was quite unimaginable, and to have reached the final four, I was proud of myself. I was really proud of myself.
And how was it for you both doing the application for the opportunity?
The application was like fairly straightforward, to be honest. I think it was like a CV, a cover letter, and a video that got sent out to you guys in F1, and that was surprisingly quite straightforward compared to like other applications I've had for other jobs. But it was good.
So take us back to that moment when you found out and you got that email from our team to say you had made it into the final four. How did that feel?
It felt great. I think, to be honest, everyone around me was more excited than I was because it took me a moment to realize that.
I was the exact same. Like, I told my friends and my family and they were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think in that minute, I don't think it's until I got here that I realised like how amazing this was. And I couldn't believe it.
And what would you say you're looking forward to most as part of the Formula One apprenticeship?
I think the opportunities that it's probably going to give. I think it will open a lot of doors for us, but not just us, others. And I think that would be like my main thing that I'm most interested in is helping others get into motorsport, get into engineering, get into STEM. That is a really big thing for me. So that's what I'm hoping for the most.
For me, that would be to learn in an amazing environment to be able to grow in engineering and learn from the best, I suppose.
Now, you guys had originally come through Formula One's We Race as One program, which is all about getting more young people from diverse backgrounds into the sport as mechanics, engineers, and hopefully one day maybe even drivers. As the first two apprentices from this initiative or for the mechanical engineering side, how does it feel to be trailblazers?
I think it's one of those things that like you don't consciously think about until you realise how niche this actually is. It's very, it's a very male-dominated sport, but it's also a very white male-dominated sport. So I think, me, who's mixed race and female, and Eyram, who's, black, it's amazing. It's literally amazing. When you look at the people that have come through F1, you always want to see people that represent yourself. And I think it's important that we do this.
So as part of your course, what do you enjoy most about your job?
I think that it's different every day, every 4 weeks as well. So, currently we're here. We've been here since October, and every 4 weeks we do something different that we train in each like department, let's say. That is what I like. I like change. I like challenging myself. So at the moment, until I get to F1, that is probably my favourite thing at the moment.
Yes. And what about yourself, Eyram?
I mean, it's just the opportunity to learn different things as we go along. Like Sorsha said, we have 4 weeks where we're doing one rotation, maybe doing bench fitting or mechanical maintenance. And I had to say I really enjoyed mechanical maintenance because that's kind of like the background I came from.
And what would you say from all that is the most challenging aspect of it?
For me personally, was me moving away from home. So like I said, I'm from Birmingham originally, but I had to move down here. That was probably the hardest thing. But then apart from that, I'd just say keeping yourself focused and motivated to get up every day and work as hard as you can to, get to the place that you want to get to.
Yeah.
And just going back a bit, Sorsha, obviously being you both were trailblazers, but being a woman in a male-dominated, not just a sport, but engineering as a whole is very male-dominated. How has that experience been being, now being an engineer?
At first I think it was really daunting. But once I got here, you realise actually, they are just men are just people too.
Yeah.
It doesn't really feel any different. I think it's only when you sit back and look at things that you realise I'm one of 4 girls here.
Yeah.
And I think it just makes me motivated even more to try and do what I can to get more girls into this and get them onto STEM subjects, because it doesn't have to be all the boys. Girls are fully capable of doing this too. So yeah.
Yeah, and obviously you both are doing your apprenticeship at CETA.
Mm-hmm.
How much have you enjoyed the experience here at CETA?
I've loved every second of it. I really have. They've been absolutely fantastic. Couldn't be more supportive. Anything that I've needed, it's been there, and it's going to be really strange to go. You get comfortable somewhere, and then it's like you're changing your job again almost. But really enjoyed every second of it. Really have.
Yeah. It's just nice to learn something new basically every month. We move on to another subject and we learn where we can improve on different skills and abilities as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really cool. So when we were talking earlier before, you were saying that you are due to finish your first year at CETA in July, I believe.
End of July.
End of July. And then you're off into working at Formula One full time. So what's the thing that you're looking forward to the most about starting your career full time with F1?
If I'm going to be honest, it's going to be going to the races. If I'm going to be honest, because I'm a massive Formula One fan anyway, and I've never once been to a race. From my background, my parents wouldn't have been able to afford a race like that. So I think actually getting the opportunity and knowing that you work for them, is something that I'm definitely looking forward to 100%.
Yeah, I'd like to say the same thing, going to the races, because I've always had an interest in motorsport. I've always looked at the GT series and everything, and rallying, Formula One. That's a whole step up. Honestly.
Yeah.
And is there a specific race that you're looking forward to the most?
Oh, that's really hard to say. I think always the home race is, the Silverstone is something that I've always wanted to go to. It's such a good atmosphere, and the weather's good as well. It's fantastic. But yeah, Silverstone, I say, is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Monaco has to be on the list as well. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping. I wonder if Formula One will let you just lie on a yacht while the race is going on. You've done your work. You've set up. You can watch the race from one of the yachts on.
Maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully.
And then in terms of your own careers, guys, where would you like to ideally see yourself in 5 years?
I think I always like to do things like one step at a time, like one day at a time, because if I start thinking that too far, things start to get crazy. But, I've always had a dream of being in a team. Yeah. That's always been, a goal of mine. But in all honesty, I think I'd like to learn more about aerodynamics. Yeah. That's something that's really interested me, especially this season. They've changed the regulations that the aerodynamics on the car are completely different in the way that the dirty air comes off the back of them. And that's always been quite interesting. So I'd love to learn more about that career-wise, I think I'd say.
Yeah.
5 years' time, I'm honestly not sure. Maybe I could do something with languages in Formula One, because all the races and venues they travel to. I don't know.
And can you speak many languages now?
Not speak. I have a decent understanding of a few, about 5 at most, I'd say.
Yeah, so you're going to be very much an asset to Formula One. So what would you say to any young person who, dreams of working in Formula One? Like if they ever saw an opportunity like this, what would you say to them?
Oh, go for it. Absolutely go for it. The wider that talent pool is, the more people that you have working on, the highest level in motorsport, the better that the sport becomes for everybody. it's such a good opportunity, and you don't have to just stay within, F1. You could go anywhere. I think once you have worked for this company, you can go anywhere with it. It opens so many doors, and I genuinely would just say, just go for it. You never know.
And what would you say, Eyram?
I'd say the same thing. Definitely go for it, because it's a great opportunity, and to be able to just get into engineering this way, it opens, like Sorsha said, doors to basically anywhere.
Yeah. You know, one of the powerful things, and we say it a lot in the Blair Project, see me, be me. If you can see individuals that look like yourself in a certain position, you can aspire to follow in a similar footsteps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we were discussing earlier about, when you actually do start full time at Formula One, you go into one of the racetracks in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Where is it?
We're going to Monza, which is,
Nice.
iconic.
Yeah.
It's such an iconic track. One of my favourites. And when we got told that, we were literally, I remember we were talking and we were hyped. Oh my God, we're going to Monza. So that's the first one that we go to in September.
Yeah. And so what have you been told what your role is going to be on the track days? No, okay.
Sorry.
We'll skip that.
I don't know, how long are they having you out there for in terms of a time period?
So this first time will probably be for about a week, Monday to Sunday.
Yeah.
So we get there first thing on Monday, I suppose, and pack up on Sunday night.
And what's the support been like from your teachers and lecturers here at CETA?
Oh, amazing.
It's been so great.
Honestly, could
really
not fault them. Could not fault them. They've been fantastic, every single one of them. Anything that you need, you can just go and ask them for help. I mean, we've stayed over some nights just to, try and get through work, and they're giving up their own time to sit with us and help us through that. And I couldn't honestly fault them at all. They've been great.
Yeah. And what about yourself, Eyram?
Yeah, I'd have to say the same thing. I mean, the patience that they've had with us to help us and guide us through the work that we have to do, it's been amazing.
Yeah. And what's a normal day like here when you're doing your training at CETA?
So a normal day, I say Monday, Thursdays and Fridays, would come in for 8 o'clock. We'd go out on the workshop, depending on the rotation we're doing. So take welding, for instance. We'd just go out and practice a little bit of welding, just do that for the day. Then we'd have Tuesdays where we have the more academical side of things, the level 3 BTEC. It's advanced manufacturing engineering. And we go through units like maths and mechanical principles, electrical principles as well. So
What was the feeling like when using some of these different bits of equipment, like with yourself saying you had no experience? How did that feel going into it for the first time?
I mean, for me, at first, there's this always, I think, in the back of my head anyway, that, you won't be able to do this. There's no way. And like I said, before, with the support, and I think with real hard determination, of course I can do it. Of course I can.
Yeah.
And that was really surprising to me, that of course I can do this, even if I have no experience. A lot of people here have been, tinkering all their life. And for me to have no knowledge at all and then to come in and actually do well, very proud of myself for that. Very proud.
And what's the experience been like for you, Eyram, from you did a course at college to then doing an apprenticeship here? Has there been any big differences or?
Yeah, I would say there's been a big difference. It's a lot more practical because back in college we were doing a lot more theory, and since I started college, it was COVID times. So I didn't really have the opportunity to go in and have the full learning experience.
What would you say to any young person listening to this who has no knowledge about an apprenticeship or is probably thinking about going down the route of studying an apprenticeship? Would you recommend the apprenticeship route to young people who may be listening to this video?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's the best way to get into any career nowadays because you get that experience. Going to university is great because you get all the knowledge and the theory, but sometimes you don't have the ability to apply that into real world work. So I'd say the apprenticeship way is just as good, and anyone should definitely consider doing an apprenticeship.
And I mean, I would say from my perspective, I mean, I'm older than Eyram. I never thought that I would go back to education at 25, but it is never, ever too late to do that at all. It really isn't. You can do this at, whether you've just come out of school at 16 or if you're my age or older, you can this route is probably one of the best routes for people that struggle academically. So it's a lot more practical. And if you're that sort of learner, then this is probably the best way to do it.
For any young person watching this and wanting to know more about an apprenticeship, what would you say is one of the benefits of going down the apprenticeship route rather than the formal academic, going to university, college and university?
Well, you don't end up with loads of debt. So one of the big things about apprenticeships is that you are getting paid to learn. You're employed by the company that you're eventually going to go to while you're in the education part of the apprenticeship, but you're still getting paid. And then at the end of it, you get your qualification at the end and you have a job. So it's very beneficial.
Yeah. And would you say, what benefit would you give Eyram?
I'd say that you get to learn more real world work. You get to learn more of the things that you're going to be doing on the jobs rather than the theory that you probably learned in university.
Yeah, because you did start off with the college route, but you mentioned that you didn't get too much practical at college.
No, I did not. Even though it's meant to be more of a practical course, because I was in a BTEC as well. I guess due to the times, I wasn't able to get into the workshop as much. They did try to get us in more in the second year, but even then, the apprenticeship is probably better because you get to learn a lot more in terms of practical rather than just theory. The theory just supplements your knowledge.
Mm-hmm. So you've heard it here first, guys, listening at home. Why not get paid to learn? Isn't that the beauty? Rather than, going to university and incurring lots of debt. Yeah, the apprenticeship route is a phenomenal route to go down. What was the assessment day like at Biggin Hill?
It was great. It was really great, wasn't it?
It was intense initially, but it was such a relaxed environment. I think you guys just wanted us to be ourselves, to be relaxed, and just enjoy the day.
Yeah,
and I did.
Yeah,
it was a really intriguing experience as well because I think not a lot of people know what they do there at Biggin Hill, but to see some of the equipment that they've got and what they actually do at that centre is it's amazing. People won't believe what they do there. So it was really eye-opening.
So what sort of influence has Sir Lewis Hamilton been for you guys?
Growing up, when F1 was on Channel 4, remember? Lewis was the closest representation to me and my family that I saw on screen. And then recently when I got back into F1, and especially since he's been using his platform for, speaking up for diversity and inclusion and all of these amazing things that he does, he has been one of the most influential people in my life, 100%. I do not think that I would be here without what he's done in motorsport, and not just in motorsport, his achievements, but also the way that he continually tries to push for all of this representation within this amazing sport. So yeah, he really is best of the best for me. Yeah.
What about yourself, Eyram? Was Sir Lewis Hamilton a role model for yourself growing up, or?
I mean, in a sense, you could say that. 2-3 years ago, the only real name, apart from Michael Schumacher and all the other greats in Formula One, the only name I really knew who was current was Lewis Hamilton. I heard so much about what he was doing in sports and how he was going so far with it.
Yeah.
And I was just actually quite inspirational. It sort of got me back into Formula One.
So guys, how does it feel to be ambassadors of the Blair Project?
Yeah, really good. Really good. I think what you guys are doing is fantastic. I've been following you since we met all the way back in August. And, I can't wait to come down and help, I'd say, more, try and do more to really showcase what you guys have been doing. So it's a really good feeling, yeah.
What about yourself, Eyram?
I think the thing that stood out to me the most in the application process was being an ambassador. like for young people, just getting the sport out to young people, and that's what you guys are doing. And so it feels amazing to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And no, honestly, for us to see, because when we first started the Blair Project, our core mission was to make motorsport more affordable, accessible, diverse, and sustainable. So regardless of your race, gender, or background, anybody could participate. But we did always say that we wanted to get individuals from, diverse backgrounds into Formula One, and we finally achieved that with yourselves. So it's, we're so proud of you guys. But yeah, it's also great to know that, we finally achieved one of our ambitions. And obviously, you guys were highlighted in the Hamilton Commission report as well, which is phenomenal. Oh, we're in the documentary series. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on and being involved in this interview. It's been a pleasure, and we can't wait to see where your journey ends up going forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Catch you later. No problem. So that is all we've got time for today, guys. I want to say a big thank you to Sorsha and Eyram for being guests on Diversity in Motorsport. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Blair Project's YouTube channel, as well as our Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter pages. And we're going to see you on another exciting episode of Diversity in Motorsport. But for now, my name's Nile.
My name's Blair.
And we'll catch you later.